Thank you so much, Hani. For further analysis, we're joined from Paris by Dr. Badawi Rohban, former Director of Disaster Reduction in UNESCO. Welcome to Qnews, sir. Now, how does the size and movement of the fault plane contribute to the scale and impact of an earthquake and its resulting tsunami?
Could you repeat, please, the question?
Yes, I was asking you, sir, how does the size and movement of the fault plane contribute to the scale and impact of an earthquake and its resulting tsunami?
Well, any earthquake which occurs, it occurs because of the movement of the fault, of the tectonic fault that you have just mentioned. Mm-hmm. Now, a magnitude of 8.8, as is the case today, means that the fault was very long to have caused such kind of magnitude. So now we are in front of a scenario where the fault line, the length of the rupture that this fault played, and it caused a rupture, a geological rupture. This rupture, which occurred at about 20 kilometers beneath the depth surface of the soil, caused this major earthquake, which, as it was just mentioned in your document, it's one of the major 7 earthquakes over the past 100 years. Now, this earthquake, because of its strength, because of its shallowness, did cause this big tsunami, which we are seeing all over the Pacific.
Mm-hmm. So what can the comparison between the 8.8 magnitude earthquake and the larger 9.1 magnitude events back in 2004 and 2011 tell us about the relationship between earthquake magnitude and energy release?
Okay. The earthquake magnitude, let's say the one in 2011 in Tohoku in Japan, which caused the Fukushima disaster, the incident, it was 9.3. Now, this one today is 8.8. When we increase the magnitude, when a magnitude is increased by 1 degree, that is from 8.8 to 9.8, which is not the case in Tohoku, it was 9.3. But from 8.8 to 9.8, which is 1 degree increase, this would cause energy which is 30 times stronger than the degree beneath. That is to say that the 2011 9.3 magnitude had been 15 times stronger than the one of today.
And how do geographic factors such as plate tectonics and fault lines in the Kamchatka region explain the frequent occurrence of earthquakes and aftershocks?
Well, any earthquake of this magnitude, whether it is the one of today in Kamchatka or whether the one in 2011 or whether the one which could hit California, the San Andreas Fault, is followed by several aftershocks. The aftershocks, usually the major aftershock which occurred also today, the major one which occurs minutes after the main shock, would usually be 1 magnitude lower. So today we have seen there were aftershocks which were starting by 7.8. Then we had 10 aftershocks of 6.8. Then we will be having in the next hours and in the next days, in principle, we will be having aftershocks which will decrease gradually, but their number will increase. But in principle, the magnitude will be lower, gradually lower and lower compared to the main shock. This is the rule in principle.
Okay.
Now, we cannot exclude, but the low probability is that there is a very, very, very low probability statistically that we could have an aftershock of a magnitude higher than 8.8.
Okay, and how do aftershock sequences influence the long-term seismic risk of an affected area? Why can they sometimes last for years or even decades?
Well, of a magnitude 8.8, as I said, we have a fault line which is several hundred kilometers, and this will cause aftershock to last not only hours, days, weeks, but even sometime years. The felt aftershocks will decrease with weeks and months. It is very unlikely that an aftershock in several months would be strongly felt by the earth, by the inhabitants. But definitely the instruments, the seismograph will, of course, sense all the aftershocks, even though any aftershock could not be felt by a human being.